As of today, I have bought 16 items on Facebook Marketplace this year, totaling $857. In this video, I'm gonna tell you what I bought, why I bought it, how much it cost, if I was able to save a little bit of money bartering with the seller, and hopefully open your eyes to some of the random things you can buy and I have bought on Marketplace. But stay tuned for the very end of the video because I have two bonus items, one being the coolest thing I found this year at a yard sale, and the second one being something we may or may not have picked up at the dump. But without further ado, let's get started. I didn't start using Marketplace until June of this year, and after that point is when we started collecting all of these items. After living in an RV, we bought a house this summer, whoop whoop, and we decided to remodel it. And in the meantime, we completely gutted the upstairs bathroom and we needed something to work downstairs, but it didn't come with a sink. I bought a pedestal sink for 20 bucks. Kind of dirty, it's kind of grimy, doesn't matter how much you clean it. There's like a little bit of marks on it, but like we just needed something cheap to hold us over to the meantime. And that's what started this domino effect of realizing absolutely everything that is on Marketplace. And you'll start to notice as I go through the list, the things get more and more refined and odd and strange. They're not just what maybe you would expect somebody to buy on Marketplace, but it all started from that sink. We are in my daughter's room now because the next item that I bought was her toddler bed. Also, don't mind this completely unfinished mural. She's a work in progress. One of the amazing reasons why I love Marketplace is the people that you meet. Found this bed. I had been searching online to find the perfect one and this one popped up and I knew I wanted it. So I reached out immediately. We went and picked it up. The woman that sold it to us was so sweet. We learned that it's actually one of two beds because she herself had had twins. They had loaned out a separate one to some friends and apparently had kind of been making the rounds to little kiddos whenever they needed a bed. Once they grew out of it, they gave it to another family, but they still had this one at their house and so they sold it. And when we pulled up, it was me, my husband, and my daughter, Adeline. She realized that we weren't gonna be like reselling it like it was for us because a lot of resellers use Marketplace too. And she was like, you know what? I listed it for 75, but why don't you guys just take it for 50? And we're like, oh my gosh, are you sure? Like I was totally prepared to pay the 75 for this bed. It's so cute, we love it. She just said no, like I'm happy that it's not going to a reseller. I'm happy that it's actually going to a loving family and a little baby girl that will use it. And we just had a really good chat with her, and you're not gonna have interactions like that. You just went on Amazon and clicked order. We're in my messy kitchen because the next two items I'm gonna go ahead and conjoin together are food items. I started realizing that you could go on Marketplace for more things than home decor. I don't know why home decor was the only thing I figured people bought and sold there, but perishables and food is something you can also get. On my little list here, the next thing that we got was organic grapes. We got 3 pounds or just under 3 pounds for $6, and then I messaged a different lady who has a food stand, and so they got me 8 huge, large, organically grown Baker's potatoes, and I spent $4 on that, and that is August 27th. So I lied. Pink Nike Dunks. I was just editing this video and then I looked down at my shoes and was like, no, I bought these too. Don't know where the chat went. Can't find how much I bought them for. I know that I bargained a little bit. I want to say they were listed for 50 and I got them for 40. Not sure, not gonna add that number to the total because I honestly don't remember, but I wanted to throw these in. I got these in October for my birthday because they pink and they cute. Okay, back to everything else that I know is documented that I bought on Marketplace this year. I knew that eventually we would need to upgrade to a double jogging stroller at some point. And every time I saw one of these on Marketplace, it was typically listed for anywhere between $175 and like $300 used. Like that's secondhand. If you bought this puppy new, you're looking at $600, $700, or $800. It's that incredible and that versatile as a stroller. I'll give you a few seconds to think. What do you think I bought it for? 30 bucks. Now, it has seen the rounds. Let me show you. If I go ahead and remove this seat, this is the one that can be configured to the bottom if you wanted to. You see that this upper seat has seen some sun fading. There's also no more front bar. If I was to buy this new, like brand spanking new, it had a sunshade, it had a front bar, and this one doesn't have those things. There's definitely scuffs and scrapes. When I'm walking, the brake on this wheel has a little click. Sometimes the brake honestly just gets stuck. When I bought the stroller, she said that she bought it secondhand from somebody on Marketplace. From that person had also said that they bought it secondhand from somebody on Marketplace. We know that it's been through at least 4 families. And honestly, I love that. I love that it has character. I love that we are reusing it. Honestly, my husband and I say that we use things until they are dead. Like until they can't work anymore, we will make do. And this is a great example of that. Item number 6, this couch and the 2 others that it came with. Like I said, This summer, we were remodeling our house. Well, eventually we got to the point where we needed to decorate and we didn't have any couches because we lived in an RV. I had been kind of scrolling, I had been looking and perusing, and I found this set listed. They listed it for originally $500, and then it looks like it had been on the market for a little bit, so they dropped it to $400. They didn't have any weird smells. There was a tiny stain on this couch in particular, but the others didn't have any issues. You know, sometimes people go into debt when they buy couch and furniture pieces for their house. It's actually pretty normal for people to have to take out some sort of line of credit and then be paying on their furniture. But with all of the expenses that we had spent all summer long, I just didn't have it in me to buy anything else brand new. So we went with these, and I would have been looking for something like this had I bought them new to begin with. Item number 7, we're getting into the practicals, baby gates. We actually were gifted 2 baby gates by friends, but they don't hard mount into the wall. They're one of the tension baby gates. My husband was honestly just really worried that she was gonna be able to push them down the stairs. I mean, it doesn't take a whole ton of force to get those wedged out of the wall, and that wasn't something that we wanted on the stairs. The seller actually had listed 2 of these individually. They were $30 each, and I was just gonna go in to get one of the 2 because I didn't want to spend a whole ton of money, but I happened to have 2 20s on me. So I asked him, hey, do you have $10 change? I have a 40 on me and not a 30. And he was like, well, would you be interested in buying them both for 40 instead of 60, which is what both of them would have been listed as? And I was like, yes, of course. Now that we've had them for a while, we honestly haven't even mounted the second one yet, so. But I love this, not only because it mounts into the wall, but because when you open it, the whole gate opens. It's not just like a little portion within the gate that opens. If you're a parent, you know anything about baby gates. And I don't really have any specific reason why I would need to buy them brand spanking new if their quality is great as is secondhand. The next 3 I'm gonna go ahead and link together. They were all bought in October, and they are garden raised beds. You're probably thinking, who's doing gardening in late fall in northern Idaho? Why are you buying raised beds? My kind of philosophy is that the patient are the ones that save the most money. If you are okay waiting for a sale instead of buying it right then and there, you're gonna save some money. And if you're okay shopping on the off seasons instead of when something is a hot ticket item, you're also gonna save some money. Most people who build raised garden beds are building them as spring is coming up, maybe late winter, and then selling them all through spring and summer. But by the end of the summer, and especially by the end of fall, they're gonna have some overstock of things that they don't need anymore. Also, maybe there was a gardener or somebody who thought they were going to be a gardener and realized that over the summer, maybe they gardened and it wasn't for them, and now they want to sell something that's only been used for one season, and you, instead of buying something brand spanking new, can get it secondhand from somebody who doesn't want it anymore. So that's what I ended up doing. I got 2 self-watering planter boxes. They were originally from Costco for, I want to say, like $149.99 or $169, but if memory serves me right, they were each $50 independently. I also went and got 2 16 by 16 inch boxes from a guy who builds them, and they were overstocked from things that I didn't sell over the summer, and he didn't want to have to store them over the winter. So brand new, never been used, 2 tiny little ones. By the time I found them on Marketplace, they were listed for $40, and I just said, hey, you know what? If nobody ends up snagging these from you, I'll go ahead and take them off your hands, but I'll do it for 30, so 15 each instead of 20 each. And lo and behold, after I was a little bit patient, he ended up getting back to me a few days later and was like, do you still want these? And I was like, yes, I do. So that's a tip I have for you guys. If you're not like 100% in love with something, but you know that it would be really helpful, but you're not like, I'm gonna die if I don't have this, which is honestly a good mindset to have about really any material thing. But that would be a tip that has worked for me a few times. And then the last of the 3, I'll make it really short and sweet, was 2 large garden beds listed for $100 each. I said, hey, would you do that for $60? And they said, sure enough, yes, we will. Plan ahead, buy on the off season, and save some money while doing it. Okay, this next one might be a little strange. Item number 11 that we bought off of Facebook Marketplace. Raw milk. I have since then switched to getting my raw milk from a different seller, so showing you this is only slightly misleading because the milk that we got on Marketplace back then was from somebody else and in a different jar, but you get the gist. I spent $12, $7 on a half gallon, and $5 for a milk jar deposit to buy raw milk. I knew that it was something I was looking into, doing more research on, but I didn't want to commit to being on a raw milk list by a local farmer. So I just reached out on Marketplace and was like, hey, can I try some of the milk that you have listed? Like I said, we go with somebody else now, hence what this is. And of course, buying raw milk is legal in my state. Let me know if you want a video on that, but it's just another thing that I bought on Marketplace. Item number 12, it's one of my most used items. I got a sourdough starter on Facebook Marketplace. Yes, you can make one on your own. But if you know anything about sourdough, if you've ever been interested in it, your bread just does better if you have a more mature batch as opposed to something brand spanking new. Plus, I just didn't want to go through all that trouble. So anyways, I brought my own jar and I got some sourdough starter for $5. Since then, I have been off to the races. These are some homemade bagels that have been made with whole cracked wheat. More on that later. And I'm also finishing up a batch of sourdough dinner rolls. There's not many left because they are oh so good. So yeah. Item number 12 is a sourdough starter. If you've ever wanted to peruse through somebody's Lazy Susan. I got a crock pot, hand towels, and an ice cream machine. The bowl is currently in the freezer because that's just where I tend to keep it. That way it's always cold, always ready if I ever want to make ice cream in a pinch. But this was listed, I believe, for $30 and I got it for $25. So super fun. I made ice cream with it 2 times now. I just really didn't want to spend the like $40, $50, $60-ish that I see them on Amazon for. So item number 13 was an ice cream machine. I got quite a few different kinds of wrapping paper that I've already started to use. And although wrapping paper is already relatively cheap, kind of a principle I like to follow is that one who's faithful with little can be trusted to be faithful with much. There's no amount of money saved that is trivial to me. It shows my husband, who provides for us and our family, that I value his time, because the money in our wallet is translated exactly to how much time he spends at the job. And I want him to know that, hey, I value your time spent away, spent providing, spent working. So yes, I buy wrapping paper on Marketplace. Item number 15 is our matching jammies. You buy clothes secondhand at a thrift store, why wouldn't you buy them secondhand on Facebook Marketplace and skip the middleman altogether? We had been wanting to do matching jammies as a family, and that is one of the things that is sometimes a little outrageous. So I got all of these for $25, my set, her set, and his. She said that she had only worn them once for a photo op, and I was like, yeah, I'll totally take these. Item number 16, and the last thing that I got off of Facebook Marketplace for the year of 2024 is whole wheat berries. This one is really strange. I probably would have never bought this in the grocery store, even if it was available, had I not done some like research and, you know, started doing the sourdough and the raw milk. Like, if you're my kind of people, you should probably click subscribe, because this sort of thing is our jam. And if you just don't get it and you're just here for the Marketplace haul, that's totally cool too. Now for the surprise item. I'm just gonna let the clip roll of the day that I found it and let that speak for itself. I literally found the most perfect Father's Day gift at a garage sale, and a sale I wasn't even planning on going to. For reference, my husband is a blue-collar, patriotic, country-loving boy from the South, man's man, and I have been having him wear either my purple fabric baby carrier, I'll insert a photo, or this like gray blue one, which isn't that feminine, but she's not very masculine either. Y'all, check out this freaking baby carrier. It's a baby carrier. It's from the brand Mission Critical, and the couple that was selling it said that all of the other things, I'm about to tell you, it came with a backpack and a ton of freaking stuff in it. They probably bought it for somewhere between $300 and $400-ish is what she was saying. They sold it to me for $50. That is the exact amount of cash I pulled out of the bank this morning. If this wasn't meant to be, I don't freaking know what was. And now for what you've probably been waiting for, the dumpster find. We gotta go back upstairs. Big disclaimer, I don't condone dumpster diving. And technically, that's not what we did. This was a countryside dumpster because trash trucks don't come by when you live out in the country. My husband went there to drop off some trash, as one does, and somebody had left this on the ground next to the dumpster, which technically they're the ones breaking the rules, because the signs everywhere say, don't put things on the ground, put them in the bin. But kind of the unspoken rule at this dump was that if you see something on the ground, it's still good and you can still use it. They would rather somebody else have it than throw it away. It's kind of like this unspoken tradesies thing going on. Sorry, my dog just moved that. So, and that would be my trusty KitchenAid. I know what you're thinking. Who on earth is leaving a KitchenAid at the dumpster? But it is broken. It doesn't stay at the off. Like, you can see I can click it to off, but as soon as my finger leaves, it automatically goes to like setting 1 or 2. And so the only way to turn it on and off is just by manually unplugging it. That's literally it. That's the only thing wrong with this puppy. I use it weekly and it was completely free. I hope you learned something in this video. I hope it opened your eyes to realizing, wow, there are so many things you can buy on Marketplace that you never realized you could to begin with. You can make your money go further. You can support local people. You can keep money in the community instead of giving it to a big corporation like Amazon, which, don't get me wrong, I love Amazon. I use Amazon, but you don't have to use it for everything. You can save a few pennies. So thanks for joining, friends. Toodles.